Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, Guardian General Agents. This is Rick Wallman, and what we're going to be doing today is I'd like to introduce you to the person on my right, Mr. Nick Palumbo, who's been with the Guardian for well over 20 years. Nick, why don't you give a little bit of background about yourself and your history with Guardian?
Sure. Well, I started in the insurance industry in 1982, joined Guardian in June of 1987, been with Guardian ever since. Been perennial President's Council producer for the last 20 plus years, Chairman's Council producer, and former member, President of the Executive Committee of Guardian Life.
So you've been with Guardian for a long time, and I imagine during the course of your 20 some odd years in the industry, especially with Guardian, you've spoken to a lot of Guardian GAs and you've spoken to a lot of Guardian reps. Is that correct?
That's correct. I've had the pleasure and the opportunity of coaching hundreds of agents as well as general agents within, not only within Guardian but with other mutual companies, to really try to raise the level of their production and attitude within their organizations.
Okay. So if you had to come up with 3 problems, concerns, and frustrations that Guardian general agents have, what would you say they'd be?
Well, I think there's 3 in general, is that production always falls short of their expectations. That's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, recruiting and retention and attracting good quality agents is number 2. Mm-hmm. And the third problem, and this is a big one that's always overlooked, is usually agents when they come into work, there's a bunch of emotional baggage that comes with that. They may have gotten off on the wrong side of the bed that morning. They may have gotten in an argument with a loved one. Somebody may have cut them off on the road. They have this internal mess up. They're hardwired the wrong way. So it's tough for them to focus on their energy on production, on good attitude, or whatever that may be. See, all agents have what we call this internal guidance system. They're programmed for success or failure in any way. And many times we see agents that are inconsistent. They have that one breakthrough year, and then the next year they're back to status quo. And it's always an uphill battle to produce, stay motivated, stay positive, and stay focused. And there's a lot of reasons for that. You know, Rick, insurance companies spend millions of dollars on giving the agents the proper tools, and the general agents the proper tools to increase productivity. But most of the time they get the same old results. Recruiting is flat, sales are flat, and they're getting the same old results. And the reason being is that they're looking for outside circumstances to change what's going on internally with that agent. Well, if we can change that agent from the inside first and reprogram that internal guidance system, the results are extraordinary.
So before we get into the specific solutions that Guardian general agents can actually apply right now, if you don't mind, can you give a little bit of background about how Empowered Mastery Consultants came about, and why are you doing these? Why are you giving back to Guardian GAs, especially with these videos?
Great question, Rick. As I said, I've been in the insurance industry for well over 28 years. Started Empowered Mastery Consultants about 3 years ago with 3 other partners from all walks of life. 2 partners own martial arts schools, and one of them is a retired textile executive. So all different backgrounds, very successful in our own right. But when we discovered this, when we discovered about this internal guidance system, we started doing these open forums and just teaching agents for free on how to take it to the next level, and we're getting unbelievable results. So we said if we can apply that not only to the insurance industry, but let's apply it to other industries, and let's see if we can measure the results and verify those results. Well, the rest is history. We've started getting extraordinary results from everybody.
Now, I could just tell by talking to you here, and I'm sure the Guardian GAs who know you, or even those who don't know you, you're really passionate about this. Why don't you just talk a little bit about the passion and
well,
how this came?
You know, one of the things we talk about in our coaching is something called the lab blueprint. I'm not going to get into that right now, but everyone has to have a life's purpose. That internal guidance system that drives us or motivates us for success. And by the way, we measure success not only monetarily, but success in all areas of life, whatever that may be, whether it's spiritual, relationships, health and vitality. So I guess the best way to describe it is to really understand my life's purpose. If you understand my life's purpose, the coaching is in direct relation to my life's purpose.
Okay. So let's take what you said in the passion with Empowered Mastery Consultants, and let's go back to the number 1 problem, concern, and frustration that you spoke about that Guardian general agents have. And I believe you mentioned about production is always short of expectations due to agents' inability to stay motivated and focused. Now, I assume that's true for any sales organization,
Correct.
but specifically, with the guardian agents. Let's talk about that, the problem, and is there any specific solutions that guardian general agents can actually apply right now?
There's a multitude of strategies that we've implemented in a lot of guardian general agencies that have been quite successful, but I'm just going to give you one for the sake of time that you can use today and benefit from it, not only the general agent, but the agents. So oftentimes, they find that production falls short of their expectations due to a lot of things. Their inability to stay motivated and focused. That's the number one thing. Agents cannot seem to stay focused. And they always lack motivation.
Right.
They feel great one week, the next week they're back to square one,
Right.
and they get this little roller coaster up and down. And what we found in a lot of general agencies, we always focus, a lot of general agents that we met, not only in the guardian family but outside of the guardian, always focus on what the agents are not doing right. Okay. So we call it, this one solution is to be a good finder.
Okay.
Have always a positive focus. For example, we start a lot of our coaching sessions with a positive focus. What is something good that happened in the course of the week or the day, both in your personal life and business life? So always be a good finder. Look at the good in everything and everyone, and before you know it, a lot of benefits will arrive from that.
Okay, so let's talk about the benefits. So when guardian general agents meet with their agents, and I assume they do it relatively often, and they're sitting down and they're speaking with a mediocre agent or someone whose production goes up and down, what would you recommend they say specifically to that agent, and what benefits of being a good finder would it be to the agent production-wise, and also just motivation-wise, and also what's the benefit to the GA?
Great. Well, the one question to ask the agent is, well, what is it that happened this week that's good? In a meeting, for example. Give me all the positive things that happen. And all of a sudden you have a shift in mindset. That agent is now focused on positive things. Okay? So they have a shift in mindset, they have a shift in attitude. So you turn negative situations into positive. And it all starts with their thoughts, their thinking. When they think defeated, they become defeated. When they think positive, they get this little bit of a cockiness. I don't want to call it an arrogance, but a cockiness, a sense of confidence that they can accomplish anything they want. And it all starts from the power of their thoughts and what they're thinking. And it's up to the general agent to feed into those thoughts and make them positive thoughts, so we create a positive environment for the agent. So that's one of the benefits.
Right. So it's basically as simple as just training the agent's mind to think about what's good that's happening. And probably before you know it, they'll assume that when they're speaking to the guardian agent, they're already thinking about something positive. Now, how is the guardian agent, the general agent, feel about that conversation after they're talking to them about being a good finder?
Well, when that happens and you create that environment in an organization, it becomes infectious. It becomes contagious. Attitude changes. And we always talk about what is attitude. And we have a whole seminar on exactly what attitude is. And attitude is not one thing, but it's a combination of things. It's the ingredients that go in attitude. It starts from the thoughts. So when you have a positive focus, you generate positive thoughts. Those thoughts elicit a feeling, an emotion. And those feelings cause a person to take action or inaction based on certain topics. The reason for call reluctance, for example, is inaction. So when you produce an action, you also get the results that you're looking for. So there's a multitude of benefits. You gain their trust and loyalty from the agent, because the general agent is always focusing on the positive, being that good finder. So it shows that you care not only about them on the business side, but on their personal side.
Right.
So they become not adversaries, but we're in this together. It makes a tremendous difference in the organization and how it's run, and the attitude that happens in that
happens in the whole office.
Exactly.
Well, I think just being a good finder, not only, you can use this in your personal life as well as your professional life. You just would be amazed about the results of just changing someone's mindset, your agent's mindset, from one of negativity to one of positive. On behalf of Nick Palumbo, this is Rick Wallman. This is the first video installment that Nick will be talking about. Stay tuned for next week's video. And on behalf, again, of Nick Palumbo and Rick Wallman, we want to wish you just ultimate success in all areas of your life. Thank you.
Thank you.